What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle video. I'm Goki, and today we're going to be talking about the easy A's, where I rank them on a list right now. So Goku Angel is disqualified for a little bit because he doesn't have his easy A. This list will be updated once it comes out, but for now I'm going to place these guys where I feel they should be, starting from the least to the greatest currently. And I think obviously as cards come out and new categories are made, these will fluctuate. These can change at any given time. So let's go ahead and get started right now. First up, we have Super Saiyan 3 Broly. The reason why he's in B and not anything lower is because he's not truly terrible card. He's not absolute F tier. He's not like this garbage card that just isn't irredeemable. It's just you're punished for playing the game, and that inherently is bad. So it leaves a little sour taste in people's mouths, making Broly just not a desirable unit to use in the first place. But he's the only Super Saiyan 3 Broly we have that is any form of viable within the game. The Super Saiyan 3 free-to-play one isn't as good as this one, surprisingly, even though this one has this effect that hurts you when collecting orbs. You lose defense, which is a terrible mechanic. They should have gotten rid of it with easy A, but they left it. He still hits hard, really hard. Collect enough key orbs, he's a pretty good nuker. Hopefully they rectify this with Angel Goku. I feel like they tend to not go all out on nuking units, mainly because they're scared of what meta it creates, but I think Angel Goku is deserving of something really good. But it's sad that Broly is in B tier. So let's move on to our very first A tier. Gotenks. Like, he has one thing going for him, a lot of stats overall, but the issue is those stats deteriorate over time. If the stats stayed, he would probably be S tier, close to SS, but he would probably be S tier overall. But because he deteriorates over time, he's A, making him a really faulty character to use. So in long events, he's not very powerful, and he's very limited in what he can be played in. He can be used in Hybrid Saiyans, which is important, but the biggest issue is he just doesn't have enough functionality, a lot of uniqueness in a lot of today's meta to stand out as a really good unit. He's just a guy with big stats that face roll whatever events he can do, and he doesn't build any extra stats, so he doesn't build anything extra, therefore he cannot be in a long event. So overall, this Gotenks is an A tier. Our next A tier is Machampu, and he's better than Gotenks. He's actually better than Gotenks. The only reason why he's in A tier is a large fault, and it's the reason why it drops him very much lower from maybe S to A, is because he can only be ran effectively and extremely well on one team, which is pretty much the Boo team, the team that allows you to play a bunch of Boos together. It's literally the only issue with him. It's the Majin Power category. He's locked to it pretty much because it's his support function that makes him very strong, and the only team he supports is Majin Power. If this was universally just maybe extreme, he'd be very strong. You could stick him on a bunch of different categories, but for now he's that lackluster of saying Majin Power versus like extreme allies kind of locks him to A right now. Now if Majin Power gets more variety in its units, it becomes a headline powerful category that doesn't really need specific units to be really good, then it will make this unit not seem like poo. This unit will definitely jump up in the tier list. But for right now, he heals, he does a lot of damage, he supports, he's he's a great easy A in the game. It's just the only issue is that category lock. And our first S tier of the game, we have Janemba. Wait, what? Gotenks over Janemba? Well, Janemba has something really important, which is guard all. He also has dodge. Now his dodge functionality is kind of flawed, but that guard all really actually helps him a lot. I went through LGE or legendary Goku events, and Janemba took nothing, absolutely nothing. I have him rainbowed, he took nothing. He just looked at Goku and laughed. He giggled. He giggled at Goku. This unit is actually very underrated. I think people think he is terrible when he's not. Like, they compare it to how big of a boost that the purple one got to this one, and then they feel like the purple one is actually better. They're about the same. They're both really good usable tanks. It's just funny how people, the perception of an F unit going all the way up to like an S unit because of an easy A, and let's say that he was B tier before and he jumped up to S. Like, because of the smaller jump, I think people relegate it to like it not being as good as the int. So, but he's a good unit. He's very good. He's definitely better than Gotenks and Machampu because he can sit on transformation booster, which is a huge category, and it's a very strong one. and he's definitely better than Broly by a mile. He's got all. And he also has a vision tank, and he's solid with shocking speed and fear and faith and nightmare and fierce battle. He has solid links as well, making him really powerful. And obviously the one better than him is Gogeta. You know, Gogeta is a really solid EZA. His biggest issue is he would be SS if he could sit on pure Saiyajins, but he's not. Fusion is probably his best category. Otherworld Warriors is not something to sleep on with this character either, because you compare him with other Gogetas. But as of now, I feel like he's S tier until maybe Otherworld Warriors get another buff, like let's say a new LR Gogeta comes out. You know, movie Reborn, I mean, not that Fusion Reborn kind of thing comes out, and we get a movie celebration with him. That could be a possibility. That could be a really good possibility, and because of that, that might bump him up the tier list. But for now, he's sitting on S very comfortably. Anything here is just good enough to just warrant you maybe summoning on the EZA banner, maybe. But anything here are a little too niche. Hopefully they come on other banners that you could summon on. So let's go ahead and put our first double S. It's Android 17. Android 17 is marginally worse than the Super Saiyan 4s, and that's only because of category. If he was not relegated to a particular niche set of categories, he would be on their level. Or close to it. I mean, this is pretty close to their level, but yeah, Android 17 is just good. I didn't want to put Cooler ahead because Cooler's the newest EZA, and we'll place him later. But yeah, Android 17 is good. Very good. If you haven't gotten him, I think like on here, like past this line, anything up here, it's kind of like, yeah, I think you need it, because he can make a lot of ESBRs kind of trivial with what he has, his skill set. So it makes him a really strong unit overall. Like, he's just a powerful tank. He's a better tank than Janemba because he stacks his damage reduction up all the way to this 80% value that just the enemy is just like, huh? Well, why can't I kill you? And you're like, damage reduction. They're like, well, fudge. And moving on. We'll go to Super Saiyan 4 next. We will do Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Vegeta's really good. Obviously, he has some weaknesses, but most of all, he's like really good. He's got counters, he's got damage, he's got defense, he's got offense. He's just a really good unit overall. If you have him rainbowed, you're lucky, and he will shoot off 4 million off rip, 5 million with support, 6 million if you have enough support and max links. He can hit really hard off initially and carrying throughout the entire game. Very good unit. Definitely worth a spot. And before we go ahead and place Goku and Cooler, I need to remind you guys, liking and commenting on the videos, break that algorithm. It does it. So go ahead and, for your boy, subscribe, link, comment down below, and hit that notification bell so you know when the videos go live for you guys. So remember that. Remember that as I move in smoothly. It's just Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So Super Saiyan 4 Goku is pretty much like a carbon copy of Vegeta. I mean, they're pretty much the same. They got awakened together. They flip defense and offense. He gets more defense on Super. He gets more offense on Super. They pretty much do similar things. They shoot off similar stat damages, 6 million. Vegeta can retain his damage a little bit longer than Goku because he has it in his super attack. So every time he does a super attack, it can stack up. So Vegeta can actually outdamage Goku if the stars align, but for the most part, they are similar. And there's no reason why I have to explain why they're in Triple S. Goku's family, Vegeta's family, Pure Saiyans, Giant Ape Power, they're just on a flood of categories that just work well with another. And unlike a lot of things on this list, they can be paired together. And that's a huge factor in this list, just their versatility and usage. And it's something that Android 17 doesn't have. It's something that Janemba doesn't have. Sure, they have partners that you can pair them together with. But these guys are each other's partners on some of these categories. They really are. GT Heroes, you can put them together. Simple as that. You can put them together with these guys on another rotation. And so it's Goku and Vegeta's just all over the place. They just have an outstanding set of categories that they do well on. And because of that, they're just really strong. And lastly, but surely, we have Cooler. Now, I place Cooler here for a certain reason, and it is a small fault. If I could put this like SS plus and put Cooler like in between, hold on, can I? No. Can I do this? Add row above, and we're gonna put SS plus, and it's a small like nitpick reason to why Cooler deserves to only be here and not up here. His category is amazing. He matches the Super Saiyan 4s in categories very easily. His offense is great, his defense is great, but it's only after 10 turns, or maybe like 6-ish turns, where he actually surpasses these. So he needs to fire off a ton of supers to even compete with these guys. These guys are just above all like ridiculously good out of the box. He takes time to build. And I think that's where it's a niche setting for Cooler. Cooler's good. Cooler actually deserves to be here. But if you really want to nitpick everything to the friggin' bone, which I did in this tier list, Cooler is better than 17, but slightly worse than the Super Saiyan 4s just because of how they function out of the box. And having counters give them additional defense, something that Cooler needs to do a bunch of attacks in order to build up to. So these guys can get up to 150k defense without a lot of their procs. Goku's can skyrocket, Vegeta's can stabilize really well. They also have some form of defensive measure against supers, which is obviously counters. So it just makes them better than Cooler. But Cooler overall is just a solid unit. He functions simply as a unit that throws a bunch of supers, throws a bunch of attacks, stacks up a lot of damage, lowers defense, and then he has a lot of teams that share good links with him, making him really good. So overall, this is my tier list for the EZA so far. We'll see where Angel Goku ranks. I'm going to assume that he'll rank somewhere around either S tier or SS, unless they do something to make this unit absolutely phenomenal and make his nuking capabilities like bar none, like the best in the game. Then he'll be like somewhere up here. If they like make it so that he stacks like, I don't know, 9% defense or even like 10% defense and 50% offense, and the DFE with inflated stats and stacking ability, and if he can change his own orbs, he'd just be up here. He'd be buying competition. But let's see exactly where they place him. For now, he's obviously bottom of the barrel. He's not the best one, obviously, but we'll see. He can be really, really good, and I can't wait to see him in action. But for now, this is the tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to see a zip to this, I'll leave a timestamp in the description down below so you guys know exactly where the end of the tier list is. Obviously, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, ring the notification bell so you guys know when the videos go live, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep it